Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ IS English channel. My name is Shubham Sagar and today we will do Hindu analysis of 5th July 2025. And again, one particular query I will keep on telling everyone that I will share this particular PDF at the end of this session by 11:30 a.m. today. Like on Monday, I will share it. I will tell you what time I will share it on Monday. So today you will get it by 11:30 a.m. Today's Hindu analysis PDF on this Telegram channel of mine, Fun Study with Shubh. So before we start today's Hindu analysis, there is an announcement which I want to make, and this is an important announcement. Good morning, Madhvi, Malini, Jeevayan, Amal, Shreya. Hi sir, I am a working professional since I make sure I don't miss them at least on weekends. Okay, Shreya. So I think from Monday you will be able to attend my classes on weekdays also. I will tell you why. Good morning, Shahida. Good morning, Anuj, Satyajit, Shashmita. So what is this announcement? Important announcement, very important announcement. And this announcement is that I'm getting married. No, that's a lie. I'm having a child. No, again, that's a lie. I'm going to moon. That's again a lie. The reality is from Monday onwards, we will be meeting 1 hour before. So ideally, when are we meeting? 10 a.m. But we'll meet at 9 a.m. We'll go here to this article. See, the basic premise is, we keep on talking about it, that eat the frog in the morning, 9 a.m. So, eat the frog in the morning means do the hardest stuff in the morning. For many people, this Hindu analysis, etc. is one of the hardest things. They want to do it as early as possible. But it's not like, it's Jhandu Chavan Prash and you ate it, and we need some time to prepare content. This Hindu newspaper, it come on website at 5 a.m. in the morning. So ideally, if you want to prepare proper content, you need 3.5 hours. Even based on that, I will be able to, bring it by 9 a.m. every day without compromising on quality. So from Monday, we are meeting at 9 a.m. 1 hour before. So that is the basic news which I wanted to tell you, because the sooner the better. And that way what will happen, by 10:30 a.m. I will be sharing the PDF and all the work related to Hindu will be done. So that is the basic premise. And what is your view on this whole thing, that I will be coming 1 hour early every day, 9 a.m.? Like, do you agree with this, or you're like, sir, we are sleeping at that particular point of time, what are you doing? So yes, 9 a.m. from Monday onwards. That is the thing which we have decided upon. So let's talk about the first article of the day, which is there on page number 1. In the previous videos, Hindu analysis, we have talked about PM Modi sir is on a 5-nation visit. We cannot call it tour. It's not a tour. When Modi sir goes somewhere, it's for a very important purpose. So here, and this article is awesome. Here we'll talk about something called as Girmitiya community. Who are these Girmitiya people, And nice way to announce, sir. I know, Shashmita. And okay, so where were we? Who are these Girmitiya communities? We are talking about Trinidad and Tobago. It has nothing to do with tobacco, whatever you eat. Where is this particular country we are talking about? Who are these Girmitiya people? Why they are named as such, Girmitiya? And then there are some other things related to diaspora. Why this article is important? Modi sir, he goes everywhere, like here, there, everywhere, and we are very proud of that fact. But the important point, why this whole thing is very important, again, just give me a second. See this, main syllabus, international relation. And in this particular main syllabus related to international relation, GS mains paper 2, you have one particular thing, Indian diaspora. So Indian diaspora becomes important. We have talked about Indian diaspora earlier as well. Right, sir, it's fine, sir, we agree, sir, right, sir, cool. So Indian diaspora, and we keep on talking about Indian diaspora, how the diaspora of America, North America, give us political stability, because Canada and US, especially US, is very important. We were talking about US imperialism yesterday. So politically, US is very important, and our Indian diaspora in US is very important. On the other hand, when we talk about West Asia, West Asian diaspora give us economic stability, they provide us remittances. And this is how you have to write your answer in mains also, pestle analysis. Political, economic, social, technological, anthropological, legal, different dimensions. So even when we are talking about Indian diaspora from mains perspective, you cannot just write US this and that. You have to divide it. Which Indian diaspora is giving us political stability, which is giving us economic stability, and the diaspora in question today, which we are talking about Trinidad and Tobago, and oh my God. So let's just see the location of this particular island countries before we go and talk about this. So this is Trinidad and Tobago. So people of these regions, Trinidad and Tobago, then Fiji, then Suriname, then Mauritius, almost 200 years back in 19th century, Britishers took many of the Indians to these regions, Trinidad and Tobago, oh my god, Fiji, Suriname, Mauritius, for plantation agriculture, because slavery was abolished in many British colonies and Britishers wanted cheap labor. So a big portion of this people, or like these endangered laborers, also came to Trinidad and Tobago. And these people are known as Girmitiya people. Now let's try to understand this. Why they are called as Girmitiya? Girmitiya. So initially it has come from the word called agreement. So most of these people, this Girmitiya community, they are from Bihar and UP region. So they used to say agreement as agreement. So agreement later on became Girmitiya. So hope you are understanding how this name came about, Girmitiya, from the word agreement. They came with an agreement, 5-year agreement, harsh agreement, Girmitiya. Okay. So where were we? Yes. Okay. Trinidad and Tobago comprise 45%. Okay. Let's focus here. Now let's talk about things one by one. Then the other thing which is important, this Trinidad, Tobago, Fiji, Suriname, Mauritius, they give us cultural stability. The culture which was present in our country, India, 200 years back, they have preserved our culture. We Indians have forgotten our culture because of globalization, Friends, How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, this and that. We are forgetting our culture. We are, adopting westernization one way or the other. These people, they have not. So they give us, oh my god. So they give us cultural stability. Dwayne Bravo related to tobacco. Oh my god. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi sir, he is again talking 35 million strong diaspora. Worldwide, we have 35 million diaspora. We get a lot of remittances from them. 1 million, 10 lakh. So 35 million equals to how many crore? If you know it, post it in the comment section. CSAT also should happen at the same time. So Indian diaspora has been referred. Now please understand, Indian diaspora, as we have seen in main syllabus, explicitly mentioned. Pros, everybody will write. We have National Diaspora Day when Gandhiji came from South Africa. All these bol bachan everybody knows. And this is an additional fact which we have talked about, political, economic and cultural. Then the con part. What is the con? Means the negative aspect related to Indian diaspora. Dichotomy, contradiction. If we keep on telling, like our Honorable Modi sir, he never says anything bad because, he is the best. So he is saying Rashtradoot, everything is fine. But sometimes what happens, it happened with a cricketer of New Zealand. I think Rachin Ravindra. He is from New Zealand, origin in India. He kept on coming. Chennai Super Kings, I think he joined. People kept on asking him about India, this and that. He has to keep on reiterating the point that he has New Zealand citizenship. He is a citizen of New Zealand. So divided loyalty. People of that particular country may look at these people, Indian diaspora, with, apprehensive overtures. Hope you can understand where I'm going with this. So it has to be balanced. We should not be like, oh my God, he's asked, UK former PM is asked. No. There has to be a balance which has to be maintained. Otherwise, it can lead to divided loyalty. It can create problem for our Indian diaspora in their particular country. That is a important point. Very good, Jivayan, Chandru, Shayada, Rishi. Cool. So main syllabus, international relation, we have seen this. Now, what are the other things which are important from Indian diaspora perspective? NRI, PIO, OCI. Non-resident Indians, persons of Indian origin, overseas citizen of India. What is the difference between them? There is nothing called PIO now. PIO has been discontinued in 2015, if I'm not wrong. So now you have NRI, now you have OCI. But still, we have to understand what was the erstwhile PIO. Once you are done with that, you are like having a good hangover Indian diaspora syllabus of your GS Mains paper 2. So again, Modi sir is talking about so many good things, deeply this and that. OCI cards for 6th generation Indian origin citizen. These people who are there in Trinidad and Tobago, they went there in 19th century. As we have discussed, Britishers took them there for plantation agriculture. So 6th generation Indian origin people are there. They will be getting OCI card. Now, before we talk about Girmitiyas, etc., let's focus on NRI, PIO and OCI, who gets voting rights, who does not. There are so many things which we have to understand, and then again we'll come back and we'll talk about all the things which is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So this is a comparative analysis of NRI, PIO and OCI. There are some contentious points, like yesterday when we have talked about what we have talked about. We have talked about CAPF, Central Armed Police Forces, and I told you that NSG is not there and Assam Rifle is not there. In some sources you will see that they are there, and it's not like CAPF is only 5, it is 7. So there can be some confusion based on differing data. Here also in NRI there is one confusion where you have different sources saying different things. We'll talk about that. I will give you a proper source for it. So NRI, PIO and OCI, as we have discussed, non-resident Indians, persons of Indian origin, overseas citizen of India. PIO discontinued in 2015. Very good. Now, NRI, non-resident Indian, if you are living in some other country for more than 183 days, or if you are outside India for more than 183 days and you're working somewhere else, you are NRI, non-resident Indians, fine. So they have citizenship of India, they're Indian citizen working somewhere else. PIO, they were foreign. OCI, currently it exists. PIO has been merged with OCI. They have become two body, one soul, like it happened na? When you love someone. You become two body, one soul. So PIO, OCI, they have become two body, one soul. Oh my God. So okay. So foreign, they are foreign citizens. They are not of India. Like Rachin, Ravindo, etc. They are not NRI. They are OCI, if anything. So please don't confuse that. My voice not audible. Tamil is saying I'm not audible. Shashmita, Rishi, Shaida, Chandru, Jeevayan, Rishi, again Madhvi, Shaida, Shashmita, other people. Chepandis, am I audible? Okay. So Indian passport, they have Indian passport. Who? NRI, non-resident Indians. PIO, OCI, they have passports of their respective countries. Do understand this. Cool. Voting rights. Voting rights. Now, this is a contentious point. This point here is a contentious point. Whether NRI, non-resident Indians, they have voting rights or not. If they have voting rights, if they are outside India for more than 183 days, how will they exercise the voting rights? So this, yes, is a contentious thing. I will show you a proper source for this voting right thing. Whether NRI, they have voting rights or not. PIO, obviously, they don't have it. OCI, they don't have it. They are citizens of some other country. Audible and clear. Now, to clarify this voting right point, whether NRI, they have voting rights or not, let's go to one particular website. So this is High Commission of India, Singapore. I have taken a snippet of what they are saying. Voting rights to NRI. And here, if you go to this High Commission of India, Singapore, you will see they are saying that, if you can see it, they are saying it explicitly that yes, sir, you have to register from wherever you belong, whatever is your resident in India, and you can do the voting. You can do online voting, you can do this and that. So you can do it. Either you can come to India or you can do it from like outside also. So voting right is there for non-resident Indians. High Commission of India, Singapore is stating it. So there is no confusion regarding that. Don't disturb my teacher. Oh my God. So please keep that in mind. Okay, sir. So voting right issue clarified. Again, if you just Google it out and this and that, different source will say different things. But yes, they have voting rights. NRI, other people, they don't. Government jobs, they can. Now, there are some tricky points here. Pay attention. Most of the people face issue in these topics. So, government jobs, they can do. NRI, they can come and do government jobs. PIO, OCI, they cannot. There is one very interesting point here related to property in India. Property in India, you can see all three can buy, but restrictions are there on PIO and OCI. PIO though has been merged with OCI, so OCI will talk about restrictions. So NRI, they can buy property in India. PIO, earlier they used to buy, but there were limits. Now OCI, they cannot buy agricultural land. And then there are some other exception also for OCI, but they can also buy some property in India. So this is interesting. Visa requirement, why would you require a visa for your own country? These people, they get, like PIO earlier used to get for 15 years visa, like now OCI gets lifelong. Please pay attention to the tricky part. What are the tricky parts? Voting right part is tricky part. Then property part is tricky part. This is a tricky part. You can feel like why PIO or now OCI they cannot buy property. No, they can buy, but they cannot buy agricultural land. Important point. Now again, this is also a tricky point. NRI, how much tax will they pay? Will they pay tax on whatever they are earning in US? No. They will pay tax only whatever they are earning in India. If they are earning something in like where they are working, they will pay tax in that country. So again, this is also an interesting point which you have to keep in mind. This is this is tricky. And then these people, they will pay taxes of the country to whatever country they belong to, citizenship they have. Police registration, they don't need to do it. And PIO, earlier if they used to come to India, they have to do a registration here if they are staying for less than 180 days. OCI, now they don't have to do it. Again, you can forget about the points, like other points. I have told you the important points which you have to focus on so that you don't get confused. PIO no longer exists from 2015 onwards. Now you only have NRI and OCI. And now if we come back to what Modi sir is saying, he is giving OCI cards to our Girmitiya community. So let's talk about that. Let's come back. So Modi sir announced that these people, they will get OCI cards. Now if they get OCI cards, they can buy land in India except agricultural land. And they will have other benefits as well. Special focus on Girmitiyas. Please remember, Girmitiya is not only those Indian diaspora people who are there in Trinidad and Tobago. Girmitiya is a umbrella term covering all Indian diaspora or almost all those people who went to different British colonies or these Fiji, Suriname, Mauritius for plantation work. Girmitiya, agreement. Girmitiya. So I am telling you how that word changed actually. So government is working to strengthen ties with descendants of Girmitiya. Do remember this word. Girmitiya is an interesting word. Have you heard this word earlier? Rishi, Chandru, Malini, Shaida, Jivayan, Shashmita, Amal, Shreya, Tamil and other people, this particular word Girmitiya, endangered labor sent to various countries during the colonial period. That is Girmitiya. What is your view on that? Reasons of origin for Girmitiya. Most Girmitiyas, as you can understand, they have their traces in Bihar and UP. If you read NCERT, you will realize that Bihari culture is very prominent and UP culture also. Most of the UP people, they spend their whole life proving that they are not from Bihar. So let's not go to UP right now. If we talk about Bihari culture, there is one thing which you will read in NCERT, which is known as chutney music. Chutney music. Chutney music is very famous. I'm not kidding. This is chutney music and this is written in NCERT. This is a mixture, means example of globalization, mixing of culture. Indian culture, Bihari, UP culture mixing with Caribbean culture leading to development of something known as chutney music as stated in NCERT. Now what is chutney music? They can ask you. Chutney music is prominent in which region? So what is chutney music? When people eat tomato sauce or tomato chutney and after that the song which they sing with their better half, that is called chutney music. No, that's a lie. Chutney music is mixture of Bhojpuri and Calypso music. Bhojpuri is a prominent language spoken in these regions because Bhojpuri influences there. Dinesh Lal Yadav, Nirahua, Pawan Singh, they love them, you know, and there is a song also, Hook Raja Ji, which is very famous in Trinidad and Tobago. No, I'm just making things up right now. So chutney music, it's a mixture of Bhojpuri and Calypso, to lagave lu jab lipstick, etc., mixing with Calypso song. So that is chutney music. Now this is your homework. Listen to some chutney music. Again, you may feel like, sir, you're kidding, you're joking. I am not. Chutney music, this is your homework. Mahatma Gandhi himself was a Girmitiya descendant when he went to South Africa to help the Indian community. Wow, Shaida. So, good morning, sir, and everyone. Sorry, no issues, Shiparna. So, hope you understood chutney music. Lagave lu jab lipstick, mixing with Calypso song. Projects include again. So, we want to honor Girmitiya legacy. Again, you can see how we want to honor it. Read it. And now, let's focus. We have talked about where is Trinidad and Tobago, and it has nothing to do with tobacco. And yeah, UPI has been adopted in Trinidad and Tobago and we are very happy about it. UPI anyway is very easy to use, unified payment interface. We'll talk about what is the basic working of UPI in some other videos. Today we have to talk about some other economic terms. Anti-dumping duty, countervailing duty. Why these anti-dumping duty, countervailing duty are in use, you will understand in some few moments from now. Some and few we cannot use in the same sentence in few moments from now. Symbolic gesture ahead of 180th Girmitiya anniversary. What does that mean? 180th Girmitiya University means anniversary. Why you? Anniversary means Girmitiya people or Indian laborers or endangered laborers, they first arrived in Trinidad and Tobago around 1845. That was the time period when Britishers were bringing Indians to different colonies because in many of the British colonies, slavery was abolished and they wanted cheap labor. So that is the significance of 180th Girmitiya anniversary. Hope you understood it. Sir, kindly do every day 8 topic. No. See, the point is, Ranjit, the premise is, I was thinking about it earlier, we used to do 6-7 topics, but that doesn't help, you know. Even if you're doing 5-6 topics, like see what we are doing today. So yesterday, I think someday earlier we talked about these forces, security forces, we covered them in the maximum possible way. Similarly, today we're talking about diaspora. So the basic premises, we'll try to do 5 or some days 6, but we'll cover them in the, you know, extensive way possible so that you don't have to refer to any other source and you can make proper notes from it. That is the basic premise. This news is particular is an excuse rather to tell you something more about your UPSC. We are reading from UPSC perspective. Rest everything is just, you know, peripheral knowledge. Cool. So hope you understood 180th Girmitiya anniversary. Emotional connect emphasized. Modi emphasized the diaspora is. You can see all these things. And he has also said some other stuff that you will not be known by your past, why you came to Trinidad and Tobago, Girmitiya, endangered labor. You'll be knowing by your present effort and what you are doing for Trinidad, Tobago, other countries and for India. Emotional connection. Okay, so we have talked about this NRI, PIO, OCI. Remember the term that PIO has been discontinued. So High Commissioner of India, Singapore, we have seen this website, why this was needed as well. Let's solve some questions now, so that we can remember things in a much better manner. Oh my God. So which of the following features apply to an OCI card holder? Amal Shreya, which of the following features apply to an OCI card holder? Can vote in Indian elections. Can OCI people, they vote in Indian election? The answer is no, they cannot vote in Indian election, as we have seen. NRI people, they can vote. So one is gone, you're left with B and C. Can buy agricultural land in India. They can buy some property in India, but not agricultural land, OCI people. So second is also gone, you're left with B, that is like 3 and 4. So B is the answer. As stated by Amal, Shreya, Rishi, Jeevayan, Malini, Shriparna, Shashmita, Madhvi and Chandru. Very good. Let's solve the second question of the day. NRI, OCI, PIO, voting rights, Indian passport, lifelong visa, and you can see how many of these are correct. Once you solve these kind of questions, you will be able to remember them in a much better way. PIO, they will not ask you anymore because it has been discontinued from 2015, as we have discussed multiple times. But still, if you remember it, it's easier. You will be able to do a compare and contrast. That's what I'm trying to say here. So, NRI, voting rights, yes. Indian passport, yes. Lifelong visa. Why would they need visa? They're Indian citizen. So, first is correct. This first row is correct. OCI, voting rights. No, they don't have voting rights. Indian passport, no. They have passport of their country. Lifelong visa, yes. They get lifelong visa. And PIO, they used to get earlier 15-year visa. But PIO has been discontinued. So, second row is also correct. PIO, voting rights, no, they don't have voting rights. They didn't used to have voting rights when PIO existed. Indian passport, no, they have passport of their own country, and yes, they used to get 15-year visa when PIO existed. Unlike OCI, who used to get lifelong visa. So these are the benefits which people or Girmitiya people of Trinidad and Tobago will get once they get OCI card. You can understand. Lifelong visa, they can buy some property in India except agricultural land. So all the 3 rows are correct. All 3 rows. Which of the above comparison is correct? All 3 rows. This is a tricky question. Tricky question. So the answer is C. Revise this question and this will help you. Because we get these kind of questions, only 1, only 2, all 3 UPSC has started giving them, Okay, sir. Now, next article of the day. CJI assures complete transparency in the collegiate system for appointments. So, B.R. Gavai, sir, he is talking about transparency, accountability. When you will read about, second ARC Ethics in Governance, GS paper 4 ethics, you will read about Ethics in Governance report. They talk about India is one of the rarest country, or I think India is the only country in the world where judiciary appoint itself. It never happens, or it's a very rare phenomena where judiciary is appointing judiciary. Karthik calling Karthik. In our time, there used to be a movie, Karthik calling Karthik. So judiciary appointing judiciary. And when that happens, that can lead to opaqueness. Transparency goes out of the window. And that's why government came up with NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission, via I think 99th Constitutional Amendment Act. But that was struck down by judiciary. Now that cast aspiration or means apprehensions about the opaqueness of judiciary, how fair, how transparent it is. And in that regard, Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gavai sir, is giving this particular statement. Now to understand this, why when somebody was saying we have to do, sir, I am new viewer of this channel, newspaper is more time consuming, is this enough to do with current affairs? Yes, more than enough, Ranjit, more than enough. Just stick to it. So what we are discussing here is, for understanding this whole scenario, you have to understand the 3 judges case. And that's why doing topics comprehensively is very important. I can do 10 articles, Hindu articles, but if I don't do them comprehensively, I will feel cheated. More often than not, you will feel cheated. But like the previous article, we have done diaspora, you have substantial knowledge. Yesterday, we have talked about different forces, you have substantial knowledge. Similarly, after today, you will have substantial knowledge on collegiate system. Different articles, article 124, 217, 222, what these articles are all about, 124A, which has been struck down by Supreme Court. So, 3 judges case. This whole collegiate system was not or has not been explicitly mentioned in the constitution. No, sir. No. This has come from this 3 judges case. First case was there in early 1980s where there are words like when Who appoints Supreme Court judges? President appoints Supreme Court judges. When President appoints Supreme Court judges, he has to consult Supreme Court Chief Justice or other judges. Now there was a word, consultation. Then there is another word, concurrence. So consultation, concurrence. So in the first judge's case, consultation and concurrence. In the first judge's case, it was implied that President does not always have to agree upon whatever recommendation Supreme Court judges are giving to President. So executive got a primacy in the first judge's case, that President is free to ignore the advice of Supreme Court judge over appointments. Fine, first judge case. Then in early 90s, second judge's case came, where they said that no, the consultation word means concurrence. That means if Supreme Court judges, Chief Justice of India, he is sending some recommendation to President, it is means binding on him to accept it. He can send it for reconsideration one time, but if it is sent back again, he has to give assent to them. So now consultation became concurrence via second judge case. And in third judge case, the Supreme Court, they clarified that when we are saying it, collegium and all, we are not saying only Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice and 4 senior most judges, they will be there and they will be deciding on the appointment to Supreme Court. So again, the same procedure was followed in High Court. High Court have a collegium, they send their recommendation to Supreme Court collegium, and then Supreme Court give their recommendation to President. So this is a precedence which has been followed. 3 judges case, you have to remember it. Different articles of Constitution related here, like 124, 217, 222, all these are important. Erstwhile 124A. So now let's have a look at this. I have given you an overview and why it is also important. Main syllabus, if you see this, see here, oh my God, judiciary. So judiciary, anything related to judiciary is very important. Judicial review, power of judiciary to review the constitutionality of laws and executive order. A PYQ has already been asked. So since this is explicitly mentioned in our main syllabus, it is very important. Okay, sir. Now let's talk about this article and we'll also see what I have just told you. So CJI, BR Gawai sir, he is saying that collegium will be transparent, blah, 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 inclusive, including, we cannot say blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go to jail in contempt of court case. We love BR Gawai sir, whatever he is saying, we agree with him. But I have already told you what are the apprehensions related here. Right? So commitment to transparency, you can see here. He assured that the appointment process will not be influenced, and he is saying inclusive, it will be inclusive, we will include people from all strata of society, blah, blah, blah. All these things are awesome. Continuity, and he's talking about, he is continuing the work, good work which was done by earlier CGI. All these things are fine. But will any question be asked from all these things, whatever CGI sir is saying? No. Again, so why are we reading this article? Because it talks about collegium system, and anything and everything related to collegium system is important from judiciary perspective, which we have just seen. So these are the 3 judges case. This collegium who will be giving recommendation to President on how Supreme Court judges and High Court judges will be appointed, it was not explicitly mentioned. It came from these 3 judges case which we have discussed. First judges case 81, give primacy to executive. President is not bound by the advice of Supreme Court judges, CJI, especially CJI. Then second judges came and after 12 years, and it said that no, it overruled its first judges case. It said that no, Supreme Court and Chief Justice of India, its recommendation will be, or his recommendation or her recommendation will be binding on President. Consultation equals to concurrence. Remember these 2 words. See, understand one thing, polity is little tricky. Why polity is tricky? Because you have to use these words. You cannot say any jibber jabber. Words matter. So here in second judge's case, they said that consultation is equal to concurrence. President is bound by the advice of Chief Justice of India. And then in third judge's case, they clarified. It's not, collegium is not about only CJI. It will be CJI plus 4 more senior most judges, like 4 senior most judges, or 5 including CJI. So please remember this. When these things are important, you have to keep it in mind. People, Ranjit, Shaida, GYN, Rishi, Madhvi, Amal, Shreya, Chandru, Shashmita, Sriparna, are you understanding? You may have heard about this. This is a very, very famous, like 3 judges case and all those things. Very famous. Are you understanding what we discussed, Kita, here? That means what have we discussed here? And these are the articles, constitutional articles related to appointment. Article 124, Supreme Court judges, how they are appointed. In that scenario, Chief Justice of India, 4 senior most judges will be there. Then Article 217, High Court judges, how they are appointed. So High Court, let's say Chief Justice of a High Court, if they have to be appointed, is this for appointment for CJI? This is for appointment for This is for appointment of Supreme Court and High Court judges, including CJI. Like Chief Justice of India, if he has to be appointed, the 5 senior most judges other than him will have to be consulted. That is the whole thing. It's about all, like most of the Supreme Court judges appointment along with High Court judges appointment. Shreya, hope you understood it. Okay, sir, let me take a break. I'm speak non-stop. So 217, High Court judges appointment. How it will happen? Let's say Chief Justice of High Court has to be appointed. In that scenario, Chief Justice of India, Governor of that particular state, their recommendation will be taken into consideration by President. Now, let's say other judges of High Court has to be appointed apart from Chief Justice of that particular state. Then in that scenario, even the Chief Justice of that particular state, their recommendation, Chief Justice of India, Governor, all of their recommendations will come into consideration when it comes to appointment of High Court judges. So do remember these again, the basic premises. This is all in theory. When High Court judges are to be appointed, High Court have their own collegium. They send their recommendation to Supreme Court collegium. Supreme Court send their recommendation to President, and then President follows the advice of SC collegium. So 222, it is related to a transfer of High Court judges. Remember the articles. Article 124A was brought by Parliament through I think 99th constitutional amendment, and it was NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission. It was repealed by Supreme Court, said by saying that it impacts the transparency, it leads to interference of executive in judicial work, and this is not good. It will impact, as we have discussed, the transparency factor. Good morning, Lohia. Ram Manohar Lohia. So these articles important. Now let's solve some questions so that you can remember it. MCQ 3, the term Girmitiyas refers to. So last one, 124 is not valid. Not valid. Struck down. Girmitiyas, who are they? And yes, sir, if you feel like you are gaining anything out of these videos, like, share, subscribe, kill it. So the answer is, sir, NSG and Assam Rifle is a part. Yeah, it is a part of CAPF, Ranjit. That's what we have discussed. They are. SPG is not. That the protection group, special protection group which guards PM, etc. They are not part of CAPF. So more or less you can say paramilitary force is more or less all about CAPF only, Central Armed Police Force. So Girmitya is Indian endangered laborers sent to work abroad under colonial rule, as stated by Rishi, Anuj, Shonika, Shashmita, Jivayan, Amal, Madhvi, Chandru. Very good. MCQ 4. Which of the following statement about the collegiate system in India is correct? Very good, Chandru, Sriparna, Malini. Then get cancelled. Very good, Sriparna. Which of the following statement about collegium in India is correct? Number 1, Madhavi. Ranjit has given the answer. Explicitly, it is not explicitly mentioned in Constitution of India. Evolved through 3 judges case which we have discussed. It was introduced by NJC. No, it was not introduced by NJC. It is headed by President. No, CJI, Chief Justice of India, heads the collegiate system. Then it evolved through judgments of Supreme Court. Yes, it evolved through judgments of Supreme Court, as stated first by Ranjit, then Amal, Madhvi, Jivayan, Vatsayan, Sriparna, Rishi, Shaida and Shashmita. Very good. MCQ 5. Shashmita, Malini, Hema Malini. Supreme Court collegium consists of Chief Justice of India, 2 senior most judges, Chief Justice of India, 4 senior most judges, President, Prime Minister and CJI, Chief Justice of India and all Supreme Court judges. Ajivan Brahmacharya, Rishi, you will be forever celibate. Chastity, celibacy. Jainism, triple ABS, Ahimsa, Asteya, Parigraha, Brahmacharya and Satya. Rishi will follow Brahmacharya. Why, Rishi, why? Chief Justice of India and 4 senior most judges? The answer is B. As stated by Jeevayan, Amal, Shaida, Rishi, Ranjit, Sriparna, Madhavi, Anuj, Madhumita, Shashmita, Chandru. Very good. Now let's talk about the third article of the day, which is related to GS2 as well as GS3. So Chandru, Athiraparu, Ashish, Malini. Very good. So China imposes anti-dumping duty on European brandy. So we are talking about alcohol here. So please understand one thing. Whenever you are reading anti-dumping duty, at the same time you have to read countervailing duty. Like we talk about smart study, PM, CM, state legislature, parliament, president, governor, that is parallel study. Similarly, whenever a question, and these are important terms, important economic terms, anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty. What are the basic meanings of these terms? Anti-dumping duty means what? European brandy, this whole brandy thing produced in France, they are selling it at, like, let's say in France, they are selling it at 100 rupees. Just for example, you're like, sir, who uses rupee in Europe? They have euro. No, let's simplify it. So let's say this European brandy is sold at rupees 100 in Europe. But what they're doing is they're selling it in China at rupees 80. So even cheaper than what they are selling it in their own country, although they are producing it there. So this is called dumping. Dumping means they are selling their good at an expensive price in their own country, but in our country, or like China is not our, but in China they're selling it at a lower price. Why? Because they want to kill the brandy industry or the alcohol industry of China. Once, let's say they have sold it at rupees 80, slowly and gradually Chinese liquor companies, they will go bankrupt, they will close down, and then they can increase the price. That's how monopoly emerges. Hope you can understand. So this is anti-dumping duty. In that scenario, China, to counter these goods from selling their product at rupees 80, what they can do, they can impose an anti-dumping duty of 30 rupees on the ground that, bro, you are selling this particular brandy at a cheap, means cheaper price than you are selling it in your home country where you are producing it. It doesn't make any sense. It is killing our industry, so we'll impose anti-dumping duty. China 40, India 20 for China product is anti-dumping. Exactly. Why Rishi? Shashmita is also very worried about why Rishi will remain brahmacharya. We all are with you, Shashmita. So now the second part, countervailing duty. What is countervailing duty? Let's try to understand it this way. China. So China, what they do is, China, and again, this is all a quid pro quo game. What does that mean is, in Europe, there were cases against China. European countries, they were inspecting whether China is giving too much subsidies to their companies. In return, China has done this. So the basic premise here is, in Europe, countervailing measures were being thought about related to China. And again, for understanding that, you have to understand countervailing duty. So let me go slowly, slowly. There is a song also, slowly, slowly, slowly. So what is countervailing duty? China. Let's say in China, the producer made something at rupees 80 and they want to sell it outside, to different countries at rupees 90 to earn 20, means 10 rupees profit. Now what China will do, they will give 20 rupees subsidy to these companies. Now what has happened? Companies' actual production cost is rupees 60 because they have got like 20 rupees subsidy from Chinese government. So now they can sell their good at 65 rupees or 70 rupees in European market. Ideally, they wanted to sell it at rupees 90, but now they can sell it at rupees 70. Hope you can understand. The goods, Chinese goods, will become very cheap now in Europe, thereby killing European industry. Now what will happen? European means company or European government rather, they will impose a duty called as countervailing duty. Please understand this thing. They look very similar, but the basic cause of anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty, they are different. Oh my God. Now let me show you. Whatever we have discussed, we'll talk about this whole issue, what is happening with this whiskey, wine and liquor thing. Anyway, people are very concerned about liquor and all those stuff. Anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty, AD and CVD, this you have to understand. Parallel study. So what is anti-dumping duty? European countries, they are dumping their goods in China at a cheaper price than what they are selling it in their own country, thereby trying to kill Chinese industry. Then China will impose a duty on them, which will be known as anti-dumping duty. So unfair pricing, dumping of goods. In a simple word, European countries, they are dumping their goods into India, means China, at a cheaper price. Countervailing duty, unfair government subsidies. That happens when you speak like Shankar Mahadevan. So what is this unfair government subsidies? As we have discussed, China in a way, manufacturing capital of the world. So what they're doing, they're giving subsidies to their manufacturing companies, thereby reducing their production cost. Now these companies can sell their goods at a very cheap price, thereby killing companies, manufacturing companies in other countries of the world, like European countries. Then European countries will impose countervailing duty on these Chinese goods because they have got additional subsidies from Chinese government. I'm not interested in girl, wife, I want freedom, counter special tax. I love birds. Wow. We are with you, Rishi. So, hope you understood. People, are you understanding the difference between anti-dumping and countervailing? They sound similar, but the basic cause is different. Basis, normal value is greater than the export price. Again, forget about all these things. Presence of foreign government subsidies. So, this is happening because of dumping. This is happening because of subsidy. Objective, neutralize injury. Again, neutralize benefit from subsidies. Now, interesting word. Require proof of dumping. That is fine. Proof of injury. There is a word here. These are all economic, terms related to economy, which you have to understand. What is proof of injury? Proof of injury means, let's say China wants to impose anti-dumping duty on European brandy, and they are saying that it is killing our Chinese companies because they're selling it at a cheaper price. They have to prove it. They have to prove that injury has happened. They have to prove that their domestic companies have suffered. They have to give a particular data to WTO, and then only they can impose this anti-dumping duty. If they're seeing that their Chinese brandy companies, their sale has reduced because of this dumping by European companies, that is proof of injury. They will show it and then they can impose anti-dumping duty. So this proof of injury is required for both anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty. I too love nature, but you should marry. Oh my God. So let's focus on the class, bro. Let's now come back to the topic. Now, why this issue is important? This issue has multiple dimensions. One from like GS2 international relation perspective, and second from GS Mains paper 3. If you talk about, effects of liberalization on the economy, not only India, but world in general. So this has multiple dimensions. Plus, these terms are also important. You have to understand these terms. So what is the issue? China has imposed anti-dumping duties on European brandy, especially French cognac. How many of you drink here? But is it always necessary that other country would know that the unfair advantage is due to subsidy or not? It's like globalization has happened, Shreya. WTO is there. So WTO ensures that countries know because, to and fro movement of goods and services happen. So more often than not, they know it. Or can subsidies be confidential? Generally, they are not. That's why we have green box, blue box, umber box. You will read about it when you read about agriculture subsidy and other subsidies. Hope you have heard about it. So generally, they are not under WTO agreements. Subsidies are not confidential. Anything can be confidential, but general rule is countries have to make it open, have to make it transparent. So this is the scenario. Now there are other words also that duties will take effect from Saturday, that is today. Today is 5th July 2025, and duty is like you can see it's actually a good amount of tax ranging between 27 to 35%. Now will remain in place for 5 years. Generally, when these anti-dumping duties, countervailing duties are imposed, they are there for us means appreciable number of years so that the domestic industries can recover from the shock. I don't drink. Oh my God. So non-retroactive. Now this is again an interesting word. Like we have discussed, anti-dumping duty, countervailing duty, proof of injury. All these are terms which we need to know. Retroactive or retrospective laws. Like if I'm not wrong, again, National Food Security Act was passed. It was a retrospective law. Retrospective law means what? Let's say an act is passed in 2013, but they can say that it is applicable from 2010. It is applicable from an earlier date. If this was a retroactive means duty, then it would have been applicable from an earlier date. But this is not a retroactive duty. So it will not be applied from an earlier date. It will be applied from today, like this Saturday, that is 5th July 2025. Hope you understood retroactive, retrospective laws. Now again, there is a homework for you people. Find out the retrospective laws in India. National Food Security Act, it is a retrospective law. What about Kisan, PM Kisan? Is it a retrospective law? This is your homework. Find out about different retrospective laws in India. The basic premise is they can be implemented from an earlier date. And that is the same thing with retroactive duties. Why this trade tension is happening? China is doing all these things because something is happening with China in Europe. You will see this. So there is a trade tension between China and US allies. So even Europe is divided into West Europe and East Europe. East European countries somewhat closer to Russia, West European countries closer to US, NATO. So you can see this whole thing from that perspective also. Tension between China and US allies. Diplomatic timing, Chinese foreign minister is in Europe. Again, you can see all these things. China's tariff, why it is happening? It followed an anti-dumping investigation launched last year into European cognac. They have done that. And why this thing happened? Because of this. This investigation was a response to European Union probe into subsidies for Chinese electric vehicles. So this was about the countervailing charge. Hope you can understand. European countries, European Union was probing whether Chinese electric vehicles, they are getting undue subsidy from China, thereby making these electric vehicles cheaper in European countries. And in retaliation to that, China has done this. So generally, anti-dumping duty, as we have seen here, is imposed in retaliation to countervailing duty. And not always, but hope you can understand. This is related to countervailing duty. Subsidy, whenever term subsidy comes, associated with countervailing duty, and whenever dumping, and hope you understood, cheaper in other country than in your home country, then dumping and anti-dumping duty comes into picture. Okay, sir, we have discussed this ADD and countervailing duty. Hope you understood it. You will understand it more once we solve some question. Let's solve MCQ 6 of the day. Very good. We shouldn't drink. Drinking is gandi baat, gandi baat. That means it's a bad thing. China is a badass. So which article of the Constitution deals with the appointment of High Court judges? China is also exporting a lot of goods in India. Right, Shaida. We have a trade deficit with China. We have a trade surplus with US. So yes, as Jivayan, Anuj, Madhvi, Rishi, Chandru, Shaida, Shashmita, all of you said, Article 217. High Court judges, Supreme Court judges 124. See this question? MCQ 7 of the day. In the context of international trade policy, when a duty is not applied retroactively, it implies what? Very good, Shripanna, Shashmita, Shayada, Chandru, everyone. Shayada has given the answer. So when it is not applied retroactively, retrospective law, if any law or any tax is retroactive or retrospective, then it is applied from an earlier date. Otherwise, it will apply it from the effective date or after the effective date. So duty applies to all import regardless of time of entry. No, time matters when retroactive law is there or it is not there. So if it is not retroactive, it will apply from an after date. It is not applicable earlier. Like if an act is passed in 2013, if it is retrospective law, it can be implemented from 2010. Hope you can understand. So duty applies only to imports made after the effective date. This looks correct. Duty is imposed indefinitely into, no. Indefinitely into the future. Doesn't make any sense. Applies to both past. No, past and future import. Past, this is retroactive. If duty applies to both past and future, it becomes retroactive. So this is wrong. The answer is the duty applies only to imports made on or after the effective date. So the answer is B. Cool. So Shaida, Jivayan, Shashmita, Shiparna, Rishi, Madhvi, Shreya, all of you tried it. The answer is B. Pay attention. Retrospective law, retroactive, all these words actually matter. As I have said, I am seeing 34 people watching, 17 likes. Why? Why other 17 people? Why do you hate me? Do I not look cool? Do I not look like a good boy? Like, share, subscribe, kill it. I'm telling you, kill it. Okay, let's move on. Now, page number 4, Naga tribes to resume protest against state jobs reservation policy on July 9. Again, this particular article is an excuse for us to go to Northeast India. There are so many tiger reserve, wildlife sanctuary. UPSC has asked question. We'll solve some PYQ related to Northeast India. And that's why we are reading it. So yes, so what has happened here? What is this whole issue in Nagaland? The issue is related to reservation, and that reservation thing was it was in place from 1977 for 11 backward class. Now there are, like, please understand one thing. When you talk about Northeast India, when you talk about Naga group, from Naga, tribes are not a homogeneous entity. They are a group of tribes, you know. So here also this reservation policy was there for 11 backward Naga tribes. Now another group has started protesting, that saying that, bro, these people are not that backward anymore. So there has to be a reframing of this reservation policy. We have nothing against these backward tribes, but we are just saying the world has changed, you know, the time has changed and the conditions of other tribes have deteriorated. So there is a need for reorganizing this reservation policy. And why I'm giving you this article, you will see. There are so many things important from exam perspective, which has been asked by UPSC earlier. ठीक है. So let's focus. So agitation announcement, a committee representing 5 major Naga tribes, Angami, Ao, Lotha, Rengma, Sumi. Again, you may feel like these tribes, no, focus here. UPSC has asked questions on tribes. Which of the following Apatani tribe is in Arunachal? Similarly, you have to remember Angami, O, Lotha, Rengma and Sumi. My Naga friends, if I'm pronouncing the name of the tribes a little bit wrong, pardon me for that. So has announced it will resume. So they can ask, UPSC can frame a question that Lotha is an indigenous tribe of. So you have to remember Nagaland. So yes, demand for, no, you can understand what is the policy, why they are protesting. They are not happy with the reservation policy. They want a reframing of it. So demand for policy review, committee on review reservation policy. You can understand they are saying that this reservation system, and this is actually so forward looking. This should happen for India also. We have a reservations policy indefinite, bro. Revise it, see who needs it more. And that's why many people believe that the caste census which will happen with 2027 census is actually good. It will tell us the actual realities, how much caste is present, how much reservation they are getting. Should we have a review of reservation policy nationwide? This is about Nagaland. So they are saying that it no longer reflects the current socio-economic and educational condition. This you can understand from this perspective also. Like we keep on talking about, yes, reservation will remove in the future. GYN, let's not go there. So what I'm trying to say here is that I was saying something, I forgot. This you can also remember. Like they are saying that it no longer reflects the current situation. India wants to become a part of UNSC, United Nations Security Council, permanent member. And it is saying that the 5 members who are permanent members of UNSC does not reflect the current world order. In that regard also you can understand this statement. They are saying that 11 backward Naga tribes, maybe some of them are not so backward now. So Eastern Nagaland representation, list of tribes benefiting from reservation includes 7 tribes from Eastern Nagaland. You don't have to go there. I'm just telling you what are the things which we have to extract from this article, which are important from exam perspective. UPSC has asked about Mount Saramati, which is there in Nagaland. So you have to remember these things. Gumti Sanctuary, which is there in Tripura. And then we have done one article earlier related to tiger reserves. I have shown you a map. I will show you that map again. And then we'll solve one PYQ related to Nagaland. So not anti-reservation again, J.K. Jimomi, he's saying that we are not opposed to reservation. We just want a review of this policy. Past government inaction, government was supposed to review this in 87, 10 years after. They did not do it. 89, they said that this will go on indefinitely. Some days back, Deputy CM said that there will be a review committee would be formed. Now the CM of Nagaland, he's saying that no, we have to wait till caste census and all these things. And that's why agitation is happening in Nagaland. So this is the issue. Reservation per se is not the point why we are discussing it. We are discussing it because most of the people don't want to read about Northeastern region, and we should know about our Northeastern brothers because UPSC also loves to ask questions on them. So there are certain points which are important from exam perspective. This is a rough map. Whenever I put any map, please put a correct map, this and that. So there can be some here and there. It's not up to scale. I think I also have to write it like, different maps, right? Not up to scale. Just to tell you, focus on Nagaland. It shares border with Myanmar. These are the facts which are important. It does not share border with, Mizoram or Meghalaya. Neighboring states are Arunachal, Assam and Manipur. So these are the facts which you have to keep in mind. Questions have already been phrased on them and you should be knowing about it. How is the possible reservation? Okay. So again, Nagaland, location northeastern India. You need inner line permit to go there. Not for Dimapur, as far as I know, but for going to Kohima, you will need inner line permit. More than 80% of the population, if I'm not wrong, is Christian. Just like Mizoram. Mizoram also, you have more than 80% of the population Christian. Arunachal, more than 30% of the population Christian officially. Unofficially, because I was there, I know. I think more than 50% population are Christian there. Christianity has like, oh my God, let's not go there. Now, what is important from exam perspective? When did it become a state? 63. They have UPSC has asked questions where they have given different states. You have to remember when it became a state. So that is also an interesting thing which we have to keep in mind. This thing to any exam ask, like, its borders, what states and what country, so keep it in mind. And then area, population, official language is English. Tribes, you have to remember. From UPSC perspective, tribe is the most important thing, and the more questions you solve, the more you will be able to remember them. Very good. Now this is a tiger reserves which we have talked about when we were talking about Sariska Tiger Reserve. Anybody remembers when have we discussed Sariska Tiger Reserve? How to learn so much just by solving questions and listening to it like a story. Don't worry too much about it. And if you cannot remember it, Shreya, nobody else can. So it's totally fine. So see here, tiger reserves, we have talked about Sariska. Now for the time being, you have to focus here on the northeastern region. Kamlang, Namdafa, Pakke. Namdafa, most of the people know about it. UPSC has asked questions. So focus on Kamlang, Pakke. Kaziranga, Manas, Nameri Orang, Assam. Mizoram, Dampa. UPSC has already asked question on Mizoram, Dampa. So pay attention. Focus when you're reading about northeast. Focus on anything and everything important from northeastern perspective. Cool. Let's focus now. Let's solve some question. So this is a PYQ which was asked by UPSC in 2014 related to northeastern India. Try to solve this question. I have told you things which you need to know. Very good, Dwedi ji. Consider the following fairs: Dampa Tiger Reserve, Gumti Wildlife Sanctuary, Saramati Peak. I have shown you Dampa just now. Gumti, I discussed it when we were talking about things. That's why you have to pay attention. But again, this is a tough question. If you're getting it wrong, that's fine. The purpose is next time don't get it wrong. UPSC has a tendency to ask questions from those things they have asked earlier. And Dampa, Gumti, Saramati, you have to remember it. So Saramati Peak, we have discussed, it is in Nagaland. So eliminate one. You are left with BCD. Dampa Tiger Reserve, I have just shown you it is in Mizoram. See Dampa? Dampa Dampa Charikha Chale. In our time there used to be a song. Dampa Dampa Charikha Chale. So Dampa, Mizoram. That means, okay. And so that means Dampa is correct. So 1 and 3 has to be there. This is correct, this is correct. So second has to be gone. Like, this is a tough question. This will be one of the toughest question, which it will be tough for anyone and everyone. Don't worry about it. Gumti, when we were discussing about Nagaland, I told you it is in Tripura. I was in Tripura for 4 years. I did my BTech from NIT Agartala, 2009 to 2013. Very honest. When I was in Tripura, I was in Agartala. That place is called as Jirania. I don't know what it is called now. I have not been there for the last, I think, 12 years. I also want to go there. But life happens. Even I did not know that Gumti Wildlife Sanctuary is in Tripura. So how come you people will know unless you revise it? So that happens, You live in a place, you don't know about that place much. That happens. So Gumti is not in Sikkim, it is in Tripura. Now research on these. Tiger Reserve, Wildlife Sanctuary, Saramati Peak. UPSC has asked questions on them. So the answer is C, 1 and 3 only. Shaidar, Anuj, Shreya, Sushmita, Shubhi. My name is Shubh, your name is Shubhi. Oh my God. Rishi and Amal. Same, but different. MCQ 9. There is a singer also, Shubh. His songs are good, but, Okay, let's focus here. Anti-dumping duty is imposed to counteract, as we have discussed earlier, sir and ma'am. Monday we are meeting at 9 a.m. so that we are done with Hindu analysis by 10:15 a.m. so that you get Hindu analysis PDF by 10:30 a.m. The sooner we start the day, better it is. And let's kill it. So yes, sir, anti-dumping duty is imposed to counteract unfair government subsidies. No, unfair government subsidies, countervailing duty. So this is wrong. Countervailing duty is imposed to deal with goods sold below their, so they have just changed the definition. Anti-dumping duty is imposed to deal with goods sold below their normal value. So second is wrong. So first and second they are wrong. So if first and second they are wrong, you're left with only 3 only. You don't even need to check. We have discussed when we are discussing anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty, what is proof of injury? Yes, so revise it. The answer is B, as stated by so many people. Now you people write CCC. How can I understand which C you are talking about? It is so difficult. 9C. So the answer is B. B is the answer, 3 only. MCQ 10. Nagaland became the 16th state of India in. Kilimanjaro, Malaki Parvat ki yaro. There was a song in our time. Kilimanjaro. So Nagaland, Mount Saramati reminded me of Mount Kilimanjaro. The answer is 1963, as we have discussed, Nagaland. Now, let's talk about the next article of the day, page number 12. Russia becomes the first nation to recognize Taliban regime. Anything first is very important. We have discussed this. Your first love, your first crush, anything first. So this is for the first time that somebody has recognized Taliban. Taliban is feeling the love. Feel my love. It feels so ironic to say this about Taliban, who are known for their atrocities. With due respect to Taliban, I don't want to get killed. You don't know. They can have some agent in India. Okay, let's focus. So up until now, none of the countries, 190 plus countries, have recognized Taliban. In fact, I think from 2003 onwards, Russia also deemed Taliban as a terrorist organization. But as we say in international affairs, it's all about power. Now Taliban has power. Slowly and gradually, countries will recognize them. India at one point of time did not talk with these people. They were terrorists, they were involved with hijack and all the stuff. Now we have also started talking. China, they have not officially recognized them or their regime, but I think Talibani ambassadors are there in China. So slowly and gradually things are changing for the better for Taliban. Now to understand this whole thing, Russia-Taliban relationship, you have to go into the past. So 1979 to 1989, Soviet-Afghan war happened. At that time, Taliban was not there. Taliban was created in 1990s. So Soviets were fighting with the precursor of Taliban and those people. And again, we know Afghanistan, there is a mnemonic for Afghanistan, graveyard of empire or term for Afghanistan. None of the big powers have been able to stay in Afghanistan. Soviet-Afghan war happened 79 to 89. Soviet people, they went away, and many people say that is one of the reason. The amount of money they lost in that war is one of the reason for dissolution of Soviet Union. USA people, they tried to capture Afghanistan, went away. So nobody is able to stay in Afghanistan for a longer period of time. Now, what was the scenario? In 1990s, when Taliban was formed, Russia did not have a good approach towards it. In 2000s, early 2000, they deemed it as a terrorist organization. Then in mid of 2010s, when US started calling the shots and US started withdrawing and became a little pacifist, they were not very enthusiastic about it. When US started withdrawing, Russia felt like we need a support in Central Asia. Anyway, in Afghanistan, when you will read about Afghanistan, you will realize that there are two major players there. Taliban and ISIS, Islamic State. We used to read about ISIS a lot. I think 10 years back, they used to do a lot of stuff in Syria and all. They have done a lot of stuff. So Islamic State. The current scenario is Russia deems ISIS or Islamic State as a bigger threat than Taliban. And they want to establish some amount of sanity and peace and stability in Central Asian region. Anyway, they are engaged with Ukraine. So they want to establish some amount of relationship with Taliban, and that's why all these things are happening. For them, bigger threat right now is Islamic State rather than Taliban. So this is a basic premise of everything which we have just discussed. Now let me show you the article. So for the first time something has happened. Russia has become the first country to formally recognize Taliban government. And again, Russia removed Taliban from its list of outlawed organization. It's a fancy word for saying terror organization, and clearing the way for formal diplomatic recognition. So again, you can see Russian Foreign Ministry announced it has received correction. You can read all these things. I have told you the basic gist. Official recognition statement, response from Afghanistan. Afghanistan is so happy you recognized us. You gave love to us. We'll give love to you in back. Oh my God. Let's focus. So China's reaction, China is also very happy about it, but it has not officially recognized Taliban government as of now. let's see what happens. It hosts a Taliban ambassador in Beijing. So China is also, you can see China is tilting towards giving recognition to Taliban government. It can happen any time now. So let's see when that happens. Historical background, this is what we were talking about. We discussed first country, anything first is important, and why that has happened, this has to do with the history part. So Soviet-Afghan war, graveyard of empire, the terms which we have discussed, keep it in mind. The USSR fought against Mujahideen fighters, precursors of Taliban. Taliban created in mid-1990s, around 95. Taliban emerged in 90s, ideologically opposed to communism and the former Soviet presence in Afghanistan, so it was seen as a terrorist organization. Russia designated Taliban as terrorist organization. Shift in engagement post-2014 when US started, we say some other words in Hindi, I don't want to use it here, when it felt like US will not have a major say in Afghanistan, Russia became active. With the withdrawal of US troops and rise of ISIS, Islamic State, Russia began to engage with Taliban. To counter ISIS, as we have discussed, Russia see ISIS as a bigger threat than Taliban in Afghanistan. You can read all these things, we have discussed this. And please sir, remember one more thing. When we talk about Central Asia, please understand Central Asia does not include Afghanistan directly or Iran directly. Central Asia has something to do with 5 countries, Stan countries. Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, all these Stan's countries, 5 countries. Afghanistan, Iran, they are not explicitly part of Central Asia. Now, this is your homework. If you know which 5 Central Asian countries we are talking about, you can post it in the comment section. But yes, if something happens in Afghanistan, it will impact these Central Asian countries. Let's solve MCQ 11 of the day. What is the significance for Taliban? Taliban has formed government in Afghanistan. So you can say Afghanistan is run by Taliban. If you want to do something in Afghanistan, you have to talk to Taliban. And that's what different countries are doing Shreya. Hope you understand the significance of Taliban. They were a terror organization, but they have captured a control, or they control Afghanistan now. They have their government there. ISIS is also fighting for it, Islamic State. But let's see what happens between this tussle of, ISIS and Taliban. Which of the following state does not share a border with Nagaland? Assam, Arunachal, Meghalaya, Manipur. Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, 2 more stans should be. So, Meghalaya does not share a border with Nagaland as we have seen from the map. MCQ 12. So, key reason behind Russia's increased engagement with Taliban post 2014 to counter US sanction. No, the main reason, the best option is to combat ISIS influence in Afghanistan. C. PYQ 13, UPSC 2017, Judicial Review. We have talked about judiciary today. We have talked about collegiate system. So let's solve this particular question asked by UPSC in 2017. I don't remember the other 2, sir. Other 2 related to? Oh, you will remember, don't worry. Have you said Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan? Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan are the other 2, Shashmita. So what is judicial review? Jivayan has given the answer. Shaida has given the answer. Number 1. Shaida has become number 1 now. Okay. So, judicial review is power of judiciary to pronounce upon the constitutionality of laws and executive order. When you talk about, legislature makes laws, executive implement laws, judiciary checks the constitutionality of laws and executive order. So, this is judiciary. Many people, they have done this. This is not judicial review. This is not judicial review. This is judicial review. This thing happened when they overruled first judge's case and gave second judge's case verdict. But this is not judicial review. This is the basic meaning of judicial review. A is the answer. A is the answer, not D. Power of judiciary to pronounce the constitutionality of laws and executive order. So yes, sir, as I have stated, like, share, subscribe. From Monday, anyway, we are meeting 1 hour earlier at 9 a.m. so that we can, we are done with this Hindu at the earliest and you can devote your time to other things. So I will see you on Monday at 9 a.m. and I will share this particular PDF in this Telegram channel of mine, Fun Study with Shubh, by 11:30, and you can join this Telegram channel if you haven't joined already. Also, if you are, again, you can post your score, which you never do, but I keep on telling about it. Also, if you're preparing for UPSC 2026, if you are facing any issues, today is what year? Today is 5th, right? There are 2 days remaining. Batch is starting on 7 July. This is July batch for 2026. And there is a course here which is starting at 9,999, which I told you yesterday also. I have not seen a price as low as this. So you can buy this particular course using my code SHS Live. You already know how to do it. What are the features of this course? Again, if you have watched my Hindu analysis earlier, if you haven't, this is my duty to tell you how to do it. Again, this 9,999, 16,999, 30,999, you can earn it anytime, anywhere. But this time you are not going to earn it back, and I'm not kidding here, I'm serious about it. If you feel like there is any issue, any doubt, any amount of, doubt in your mind, obviously, that you're not covering things properly, you are not scoring properly in your pre-mocks or mains mocks, you need some guidance, you need some mentorship, go for it. Money will come back, money will come back, but time will not. So you have to put things in that regard. And again, what you have to do, you have to go to StudyIQ.com. I have shown you all languages. You will go to English, because we are talking about English, and this is 2026 batch we are talking about, which is starting on 7 July. If you are preparing for 27, 28, you have to do the same process which we are doing right now. See, the course price is 36,999. So here in this 36,999, you will get a lot of features which we have talked about earlier. I will talk about it right now also. But there is a variant of this particular course which will be available to you in 9,999. There will be certain things which will not be there in this 9,999. Why I'm focusing on 9,999? I can always tell you to buy this bigger course. It helps us that way. The company is stable. I'm just telling you that even if you don't need mentorship, you don't need scholarship or something, you can go for 9,999 because you will get all the notes, you will get everything. And first of all, let's see the features. So one-to-one mentorship is there. I think mentorship will not be there in that 9,999 course. Scholarship, which you are seeing here at the end, that full fee refund for UPSC 2026 qualifiers and 11,000 cash prize, all these things will not be there because it's 9,999 course here. So, but other things are there. Material will be there, live classes will be there. Obviously, it has to be there. You can watch it recorded any number of times for next 1 year, 6 months. What will happen with that 9,999 course is the validity will be 1 year, 6 months. This 36,999, the validity will be bigger. You can see here, this gold course I'm talking about, validity is 1 year, 6 months, 16,999. If you apply my code, it will reduce to 9,999. That is 7,000 reduction. And same way, this whole, like diamond you will get it at 29,999. This you will get at 24,999. Prices will reduce. The prices vary because the validity months are different. But that is not the only scenario. See, in diamond, you're getting all these things. Interview guidance, prelims, residential, scholarship. Scholarship is actually a very interesting thing. Let's say even if you buy diamond at 29,999 and you clear UPSC pre next year, you will get all that 29,999 back along with the quiz and all those things which will happen. Those things, I don't think it is there in gold. If you see gold here, this thing is gone. Mentorship gone, MRP gone, and the scholarships things are not there. But rest, like live classes, lecture notes, all these things will be there. So if you, again, it's totally up to you. If you feel like you need videos, you need lecture notes, you don't need any mentorship or test series, etc., you already have it from somewhere, go for this gold. But if you feel like, you need mentorship, you need mains residential program, I personally prefer, I think this will help a lot of people. When you are with those people who are equally serious, who have cleared pre and who are, studying together for mains and interview, that actually helps. So I like MRP program a lot. So ideally, again, if you don't want to be a part of gold or MRP, you can go for gold. If you want to be part of these things and you don't want scholarship, etc., you can go for platinum. If you want everything, you can go for diamond. But I will say, let's say you have some money constraint, money issues, just go for gold. See what the course is all about, what the notes is all about. After that, if you feel like, you can talk to, you can call on this number. Don't call, but again, this is on video. You can call on this number. You can just say, I want to update myself from gold to platinum or diamond. Based on if you feel like the feedback is good, you're gaining something out of it, take it one step. Like, you don't, hope you are understanding. Take one step at a time. That's what I'm saying. This is value for your money. And again, how you will do that, how the prices will reduce, you will go to add promo code. If you use these promo code, the prices will reduce by 6,000. If you use my promo code SHS Live, the prices will reduce the maximum 7,000. Or if you use any other faculty code whom you love more than me, you can use that code and you will get 7,000, like 7,000 discount will be there. And the prices have reduced. Like for gold, it has reduced to 29,999. For platinum, if you apply the code, 24,999. For gold, 9,999. So that's how this whole thing works. So yes, sir. And that's it from me. If you have any queries related to anything related to these batches for 2026, starting on 7th, today is 5th. That's why I'm stressing this point. Join it from the start only. If you're joining in between, watching the recorded version, it doesn't help. And go for it, whatever you want to go for. And you can call on this number 9240231070 for any more queries. So that's it from me, sir and ma'am. I think, is there a batch for working professional? Yesterday, all these batches are for, like, this is for 2026, 27, 28 are mainly for working professional, because I don't think you'll be giving it next year. You are preparing your base. So any batch is a batch for working professional, because there are live classes. If you miss it because you're working, you can watch it recorded any number of times for 1 year, 6 months, next 1 year, 6 months in gold, and accordingly in platinum and diamond, you can see. So any batch is for working professional. It's totally up to you. Which year you are preparing, what, attributes you are looking for. Any queries, call on this number. Don't worry about it. So thank you, Jivai and Chandrush, Shashmita. We really enjoyed learning from you, sir. The way you explained everything made it so easy, interesting to understand. Thank you, Shayada. So now I'll be gone. I'll be seeing you people tomorrow. I'm saying tomorrow, Monday. Monday at 9 a.m. That will be awesome. I have to wake up by 3:30, I guess. I will do some exercise, because earlier I was 80 kg. Now I have reduced it to 71 kg. I want to go to 65 kg. I want to reduce it further. So some exercise, then from 4:45 a.m. till 8 a.m., 8:15 a.m., I will prepare these notes and all these things for you. And then at 9 a.m. we will meet and we will do and we'll kill it. ठीक है? So see you people on Monday at 9 a.m. I am going now. Go gone. Take care, be blessed, tata, bye-bye. Like, share, subscribe, kill it. Make it a movement. Tell it to as many people as possible that we are meeting on Monday at 9 a.m. Every day we'll meet at 9 a.m. from Monday onwards. Bye-bye.